Hello, it is Tara from Sojourn Psychology. And I have been thinking about the window of tolerance just so much lately. And I wanted to continue our conversation on forgiveness, repair, and amends in light of or consideration of our window of tolerance. Now, our window of tolerance is this place where we can have a positive view of self, positive view of others. Things feel measurable and manageable. We're self-regulated. And the benefit of self-regulation is that it's easier to lend ourselves to co-regulation. Now, when I am mindful of my window of tolerance and I'm paying attention whether my lid is flipped, whether I'm feeling, lots of times when my lid is flipped, I feel a little bit like this. But other times it might feel like the bottom's fallen out and low energy, lethargy, lack of motivation. So those are different ways that we might notice. I'm not in my space where I am the version of myself that I can lean into relationships or open up space for relationship to occur. Now we need to have those things. I need capacity to lean in. I need capacity to hold the space where relationship can occur for forgiveness, for amends, for repair, for reconciliation. So forgiveness practice, window of tolerance. What am I talking about here? Again, my favorite definition of repair. Not a big surprise. I'll say it over and over again. It's actually I don't really know of any other version of repair because this just makes so much sense. Circle of Security says, repair means I am here, I know you need me, and we are going to work this out. Window of tolerance and that definition of repair. I am here. I know you need me. So I am here and I am going to work really hard to be mindful of my sharp music, my hyper, my hypo, my lid being flipped, my bottom falling out. I'm being aware and I'm going to stay as much in my window of tolerance so that I'm here for you. I'm here for you means I'm not really focused on winning. I'm not really focused on my words being the final words. I'm not focused on you understanding how my version of the story is the better truth. I'm realizing I'm in my window of tolerance and I'm not sure if you are. So I am here. I know you need me. I know you need me to be as regulated as possible so that I can own my stuff, that whatever I contributed to the problem, I can tolerate owning, observing, speaking about, apologizing for, however the language may hold the truth that I'm here and I know you need me. And we are going to work this out. So there is this suggestion, this nudging further into relational space. We're going to work this out. I'm going to be self-regulated and we're going to co-regulate through this painful experience to a place where we're both self-regulated. That's the real goal of forgiveness, repair, amends. I like the word repair better, but we talk so much about forgiveness and we're quite curious about it. There's something really important about it. And I'm not really sure which comes first or which is more important, but I put more emphasis on repair. And when I put more emphasis on this repair model, understanding that it's a lot about co-regulating through a painful experience. The words of forgiveness are just beautiful nicety. They're a symbol of the corrective epiphany. What else do we think about self-regulation, co-regulation, and repair and forgiveness? This is not going to be a big surprise either. So what do I say our longing is? I write a book about it, is we all long to be heard by loving ears, seen by loving eyes, and known by a loving mind. When I'm offering repair, when I am forgiving or seeking forgiveness, I can hold a position of, I long to hear you with loving ears. I long to see you with loving eyes, and I long to know you with a loving mind. If that's my position in this whole forgiveness practice, I will offer loving ears and loving eyes and a loving mind. that's going to help me stay more in my window of tolerance. That's going to help me be the wiser, stronger other, bigger, stronger, wiser, and kind. And that is going to help the formula find its way more readily. And then I think, like, sometimes back when I was a younger psychologist, we would try to come up with these like sort of kitschy or cliche questions. Would you rather be right or happy? Is something that I might have said as a young therapist. And I heard other colleagues say it. Sorry, frog in my throat. Again, the frog is lingering from Alberta ickiness this winter. But yeah, would you rather be right or happy? And of course, the sort of cool question was implying, well, of course you want to be happy. But I think that, as silly as it is helpful, that repair and forgiveness and amends, it's not about proving our point. It's not a judge and jury. It's not Lady Justice. It's not about something magical that makes me a better person. It is a living, breathing, personable experience. It's an embodied experience. I'm going to choose for us to be happy together again. I am lending my hope. When we talk about couples therapy, oftentimes we talk about lending the couple our hope. Couples often come in and they're really worried that it's over, they're getting a divorce. And I am assessing initially to see, okay, how problematic is this situation? And how do I lend my hope to the situation? How do I believe in us before you can believe in us again? That's a lovely way of thinking about forgiveness. And all of a sudden, I wasn't thinking about this before, but that's a tone of self-compassion, a beautiful preface to moving into forgiveness, amends, repair, reconciliation, is this self-compassion. And I was in a class and we were talking about the spiritual symbol of birth and mothering, and why maternal energy is something that really draws us to wonder about supernatural love. And I was thinking again in terms of co-regulation and being drawn into this real energy field of how our biology works together. And it feels like we're connected to something grander. And that maternal energy, that there's this emotionally regulated space. And we'll use this language of maternal energy, but really it's this idea of this compassionate hug energy. And I had this epiphany in regards to forgiveness, and I'm a big advocate for hugging. I think it's so important. I think it's a vital part of our relationships. It's a sacrament. That's what my friend Daniel says. But hugging is also something that's so naturally a part of a forgiveness practice. When we repair, when we reconcile, it's natural to move into some sort of physical touch. Our bodies just naturally lean into this space where I want to hug, I want to offer a hug. It can feel embarrassing or uncomfortable, and sometimes we stop ourselves. But what does a hug do? A hug further intensifies the experience of co-regulation, and a hug brings us into an experience of oxytocin. So in our forgiveness practice, working through any sort of blocks we have to why we wouldn't include some type of physical touch, even a handshake, if that was more appropriate, a long handshake. I'm glad we had this talk. I'm going to linger with my hand on your hand for as long as possible, 30 seconds, right? I'm going to hold my child for a good long hug. And I am paying attention inside of me to what I'm feeling. Okay, I'm feeling some of that vibration of the co-regulation. Being mindful of co-regulation, how it feels in our body, being mindful of our window of tolerance, how we feel when our lid is flipped or when our bottom falls out, and staying in this zone so that we can be wiser, stronger other in these conversations. So I just think this is some continued beautiful conversation and thought exploration on forgiveness. I've been percolating on reconciliation in a different way. I just had a great friend say something that blew my mind a little bit. So as I percolate, I think that I'll have some more conversation about reconciliation, which I'm very excited about, because when I wrote the chapter on reconciliation in Love and Love's Energy, my goal was that I would be able to write again about reconciliation. And I just really, I care about understanding, what does this mean? What is reconciliation really? Because that's the goal of forgiveness, repair, and amends, is reconciliation whenever possible. All right, you guys, have an amazing day, and hopefully this is helpful. And may we all be inspired for better and better mental health and better life recovery. Peace.